G'day guys, this is Jackson Milan, the Wealth Mentor, and I'm excited to be here for another expert masterclass with Sid Elias from LJ Hooker Colyton. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive with Sid into his business, his experience in what's happening at the moment in terms of this coronavirus crisis, and what impact it's had to the real estate market around the area, and hopefully give some words of wisdom from the man himself. So Sid, thanks for joining us, mate. How you doing?
Very well, Jackson. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, thanks, mate. So first things first, Sid, tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Jackson, my business is based in Western Sydney. We've been operating for about 7 years now, closer to 7 years. We built our rent roll organically. We've got current market share in our marketplace. There's a lot of competition around us. I come from a pharmaceutical background. I used to sell pharmaceutical medication and drugs to surgeons and hospital specialists, but I just felt that I wasn't enjoying the industry. I really wanted to get out there and meet a whole range of people and find a job that keeps me settled, not having to travel so much. And I felt real estate was probably the way to go for me. But yeah, right now I'm enjoying what I do. It's been good.
Beautiful, mate. So your business is built off the back of both the sales and the property management?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a rent roll of over 350 at the moment. We've built that organically, which is great. We haven't acquired any properties. We did that a little less over little under 3 years, which is great,
Beautiful.
Which is phenomenal. We've got a sales team and a property management team at the moment. We've made a lot of changes over the last 3 years, whether that be digitally, technology, or the way we process. But we're always learning. I'm one to always take advice. I'm on always to look at different ways of improving. But at the moment, we're going okay. It's good.
Beautiful, mate. And how big's the team?
So right now we've got 5 in property management and we've got 3 sales staff at the moment.
Okay, fantastic, mate. So a good sized team, which is awesome. So Sid, what's happening out there at the moment? Let's talk about the sales part first. So obviously this corona crisis started happening. When did you first start to feel things changing?
I'll be honest with you, we had a really smashing March. So our first quarter was phenomenal. We had our biggest quarter on record, which is great.
Wow.
The way we've seen things, it has turned quite dramatically. And that's due to obviously COVID-19. What we're finding is that for a period of about one or 2 weeks, we had no more inquiries, basically, okay? But then because obviously all the negative media, and I blame the media for a lot of this stuff, of these things, they can either add fuel to the fire or they can feed the greed. They can promote the industry or obviously create fear. And at the moment, I think there's a lot of people who have a bit of fear in terms of the real estate market. We have since been putting down or speaking to it. We've gone back to Sales 101, Jackson, right? So we're on the phones quite a bit now, and we're inviting people to do individual inspections. And that's what we're doing at the moment. Gone are the days where throw out an open home, you've got 20, 30 groups, create competition and urgency. Now it's back to that one-on-one personal level, the belly button to belly button sort of relationship. And that's one of the things I do love about real estate. But that's where we are at the moment. We don't have an influx of buyers, but I think there's a lot of opportunities now for a lot of people. If you're cash ready, cash positive, you've got a pre-approval, now's the time to buy. With vendors, it's going to work. I think it'll work well as well, because right now your property, more than likely, is going to be in isolation, not in competition, which is great. And there's a lot of people out there that are bargain hunters. I understand that, but it's all about meeting that medium and making the deal happen.
So let's talk about, because I guess this is the thing that I love about real estate, because you're a facilitator, right? You've got to manage both sides, both parties in this transaction to make sure that you can reach a kind of mutually agreeable outcome. So the sellers, what's the sentiment? What are the things that they're sharing and what are they feeling at the moment?
We're not getting a lot of feedback from sellers at the moment in the sense it's all about the property right now. I think my understanding is if you're out to buy property in today's marketplace, you're ready to buy.
Sure.
I'm getting a lot of investors coming through. We are an investor-dominated market where I am, but basically a lot of investors are still out looking. But I've got a lot of first-home buyers too, which is great. But I can guarantee every single inquiry that we're receiving, are they negotiable? Now you're going to get that obviously in the normal marketplace.
Yeah.
But at the moment, everyone is, they're asking. Look, historically over the last 6 months, we were finding that buyers had to meet vendors. Now we're finding that the vendors have to come down and meet the buyers at the moment. And that's part of the process at the moment.
And mate, we've seen this all before. Like you've been in this space for what, 7 years now, and we've seen this cycle. Like, would you compare this to similar to when things started to cool off after 2016?
I I think it's a little bit different, to be honest. I
Sure.
think 2016 things weren't crash hot, but what we found, the property management department rentals were great. Right. I
Mm,
mean, if you remember back then, people were doing auctions on rentals, and then they
yeah.
put a stop to it quickly. But right now, what we're finding, it's plateaued across both boards, both ends of the spectrum. But there are things that we're doing to keep business going. It is tough at the moment, but I think it's exciting in the sense that it's forcing us as business owners to rethink our business model.
Mm.
And there are a lot. I'm very, very digitally orientated, and I'm really enjoying implementing a lot of things like into the landscape at the moment. So, we've got digital inspections. We're running routine digital inspections at the moment. There are different things we can do a lot better than what we are now, but we're working on how we can improve the customer experience and the relationships for our buyers and our vendors, and that's where we are at the moment. I think the the good guys will strive in today's market, and the guys who just stick their hand in the sand are probably going to fall apart quite soon. Absolutely.
Look, I think that speaks for every industry, mate, that all of our businesses, doesn't matter what we do, we're in the people to people business. And I think there's probably a lot of things that all of us have taken a bit for granted, right? Like I think you touched on the fact that you can't just do an open home anymore and expect 30 couples to come through and it basically sells itself.
Yeah.
You've got to really focus on those individualized relationships.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the synergies between the people and the technology. So with these strategies that you're employing, what are you doing to kind of get things across the line, given that we can't use those same strategies that we're using before?
Look, yeah, social media is big at the moment, really big. Gone are the days where vendors will pay thousands of dollars now for advertising. People are taking a hit, and I understand that people are losing their jobs or whatever it might
Sure.
be. Job seeker, job keeper, the whole lot. It's all out there. The government's digging deep. So I think we've got to dig deep too in the industry ourselves too. So people
Mm.
that I might deal with, my credits as being REA domain, they've come to the party as well. But there's a lot of avenues where we can get a large audience, and that is social media. That is video. So we've taken the time over the last 2 weeks. We've gone to every single one of our rental properties for argument's sake. I think we had 18 on the market, and they've all got videos now. They've all got floor plans. They've got videos. We
Beautiful.
never used to do floor plans for our rentals, and they've got professional photography now,
Wow.
which is great. And I think it's just about conditioning the vendors and educating our vendors that, look, we're in it together. But these are some of the things that there is softer competition out there, but how are you going to get your best bang for your buck? And
Mm.
these are certain things that we're doing at the moment. Absolutely.
Look, I think this is important, right? Because we've got to realize what the customer wants. What does the client want? Now, look, we think about someone sitting at home. They can't go to an open house. They can't go to an inspection and get a good feel for it. Maybe they don't want to go out because they're scared of potentially getting the virus or whatever it might be. So we've got to try and give them as close to the real life experience as possible, right?
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, what we're doing with both vendors and buyers at the moment, and I'll touch base, but we're basically echoing this, okay? Isolation doesn't mean hibernation,
Mm.
right? So we're trying to get our buyers out there. We're trying to get our vendors saying, look, guys, it's a good thing because whoever's coming out to buy property now, they're fair income. They want a home.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see many shoppers with these social distancing rules out there just window shopping at the moment.
No.
So I know that a lot of our buyers are warm prospects, or at least hot prospects or warm prospects. So that's a good thing too, which is great. And we're doing everything possible. We're hitting our hot lists, top 100 buyers. We're doing the whole lot at the moment. So it's a different landscape, but it's exciting as well. But it is challenging too. It's challenging, but I mean I've got a great team. They're all working remotely. There's some things we've had to do. We're running Zoom meetings every morning, every afternoon. We're doing the same with our owners as well.
Beautiful.
Which is great. So, and they're okay. So our owners so far are so good that, they're all healthy. We're checking in, making sure their family's okay.
Which is great.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
let's talk about the team aspect, because I guess all of us, if we're running a business, we're the leaders, and obviously there's uncertainty, and that affects us as leaders too. But what are the strategies that you've been doing to keep your team in high hopes and kind of manage the kind of the ebbs and flows of what's been changing?
Sure. So the team were really worried about the virus itself. Okay. I think that was first and foremost on top of their mind. And then they started thinking about, well, decline in business. And then they started thinking about, well, do I have a job? Okay. I basically gave them insight on the business, and I actually shared it with them. And I said, look, guys, this is how we're going to measure ourselves. With the property management department, we basically said, we watch our arrears. If our arrears increases dramatically, that means our income has decreased, right? And I've given them a threshold where we need to be. And to their credit, they have been phenomenal.
Beautiful.
We're getting lots of calls. I mean, you know, the government came out and said, you can't kick tenants out for 6 months or whatever it might be. A lot of the tenants sort of thought, oh, well, okay, I don't have to pay rent now. That's not true. So we're working tirelessly, but we're meeting twice a day. So the team themselves, they've been phenomenal. They're working from home. They've got kids homeschooling. We're working remotely. We set this up a couple of years ago. So we had server-based software, but we moved about 24 months ago. So everything's web-based now, which is great.
Beautiful.
Got them all printers at home, got them paper, the whole lot. They've got their phones, they've got their laptops, and we're meeting every morning at 9 o'clock. And I haven't made this afternoon's meeting because of this, and 5 o'clock every afternoon.
Beautiful.
And they're actually meeting between 8:30 and 8:45 every single morning on their own as well, which is phenomenal.
Fantastic. So what impact have you seen that's had to like the team morale? Have you seen any distancing given that everyone's working remotely, or do you feel everyone's collaborating well?
Everyone's collaborating well. We have a lot of, I think what we got carried away a little bit in the first week or so, because what we were doing, across platforms, whether it be Microsoft Teams, Zoom, webinars, WhatsApp, text messages. Sure. So we said, okay, guys, look, our major form of communication at the moment is email and notes within our CRMs. And that's something we've always promoted. But now they're getting accustomed to that, which is great. It's fine because now we have one centralized location for all of the information. But we're on the phone. They're great. They're enjoying it. I think the most challenging part for them is the family aspect of things, not work.
I understand.
It's the family. It's the kids, having the kids there, the partners and everything else. We had one of them, her dog was chewing her cable. And
Gosh.
whatever it might be. But it's challenging, but they're okay. We were considering doing this. We were considering doing this as a perk, right? And say, look, you've done really well. We're going to allow you to work 1 or 2 days from home. And we weren't sure though whether this was going to work, but they've showed us something that you can get the job done.
And here's the thing, mate. I think this is, in many cases, going to improve a lot of businesses, because I think now we've been forced to make it work. So now we know it works. And this is going to create a lot more flexible opportunities into the future of how we run and grow our businesses. And hopefully it's going to allow us to grow and scale and achieve our goals faster.
Yep.
So let's think back on the property market front. So obviously it's probably still too early to tell where this whole thing's going to land. But I think that the point that you spoke about is that there's still people out there that either need to sell or need to buy for their own personal reasons. They don't want to be deterred by this. So let's look at both of those roles. So as a seller, let's assume that you are looking to sell a property, because I guess most people these days, it's normally because of an upgrade or a change in lifestyle, right?
Yep.
So what would be your advice to somebody that's looking to sell in this current environment?
My advice would be, if you're definitely selling to buy something, it's a great environment to be selling or buying. It's relative, right? You buy and sell in the same market. At the moment, you sell your property, you might think, okay, I could have got more 6 months ago, but guess what? You're going to save on the other end of that purchase. So when you're buying and selling in the same market, it's relative. It's great. It's fine. And they're the discussions we're having. But we've gone over and beyond now as well. So we're actually doing the research on behalf of the landlords, the vendors, at the moment. They're showing us where they want to go. We're shopping around for them, putting them in touch with other LJ Hooker offices and whatnot, which is great.
Beautiful.
If you're selling to cash in, okay, I really don't have much to say about that in the sense, except that if you're selling, you need to sell. And what we can do, these are the ways and these are the measures we're going to take to get you the best possible result. Obviously, we're constricted at the moment with social distancing. We've got virtual auctions at the moment and whatever it might be in different avenues too. But it's an essential service. And I think the government's okay for us to take people through homes, right? It's like food, shelter, and whatever it might be.
Yep.
So business is still going. It's fine. You might not turn over 30 transactions a month or 20 transactions a month, but we're surviving. We're good. We're still providing a service to the community. And I would say to people, if you're considering sellers, give us a ring. We'll explain to you why it is relative in the same marketplace. So I don't think people will lose much, to be honest.
Great. Okay, fantastic. And what about on the other side of the spectrum for buyers right now? What would be your advice to buyers?
I would be, well, the first and foremost, contact me and speak to me over the phone, because I can't meet you out there unless we're one-on-one. The challenge we are finding is that, especially properties that are tenanted at the moment, Tenants are a little bit hesitant to have different people coming through. So that is a
Sure.
challenge we're finding at the moment.
Mm.
So we're respectfully asking and telling the tenants that we're going to have masks, we're not going to touch anything. We've showed them most of the property through digital means, but they just want to get a feel for the home. We'll be in and out within a couple of minutes. Some have said yes, some have said no.
I understand.
But I would be telling buyers, buyers, if you like a home, go and see it. Because at the moment, I think people are reasonable. They are there. You're there to list your property. You're there to sell your home. And if you give us a good enough offer and it's a fair offer, we can make the deal happen. Absolutely.
Look, I think that's an important point, mate, that I think there's a few people out there that are seeing this as being very opportunistic. And look, there's definitely value there, but you got to be realistic. And you got to give a fair offer of what's acceptable in the current marketplace.
Absolutely. Yep. We've seen a lot of inquiries come through today, which is great. And it's funny you mentioned that, because we've seen an increase of inquiries since Monday this week, which is good. So I guess you just get, to get the price right. That's all it is, getting the price right, finding that magic price for both parties. That's all it is.
And I think things are going to start to shift, mate, because I compare this to the phases of grieving, that people have been paralyzed by fear because this is so shocking. None of us have been through anything like this before. And for that reason, we go, what do? We're like a deer in the headlights. But then there comes a point where as human beings, we're resilient. And then we just start to go, stuff it. This is what it is. I'm just going to make the most of it. And then the tables start to turn. So hopefully we start turning a corner and things start coming back in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. And they will. I really do. I don't believe this is going to last. This is my opinion, though. I don't have a crystal ball, Jackson. But I think come December this year, we're going to look back and think, oh, well, we made it. We made it through.
Yeah.
I also feel that I think we're going to see a lot of listings in winter. I really do. I think people might make a choice to sell for various reasons.
Sure.
But I think that's where we're going to head to as well. The property management market is strong at the moment. It's going really good. I guess, people might have lost their jobs. They've got a bit of savings, but now they can't go get a loan. So they think, okay, my next option is just go get my own place, rent out for 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, lease out. So that's still churning, which is really good. That's moving at the moment. But we're going to look back and we're going to think this is going to be okay. And we made it. I really honestly believe that. I do. And that's some of the things that we're trying to discuss with our staff members. Guys, it's not all doom and gloom, by all means. There's a lot of opportunity for you to be able to nurture yourself and your clients and touch base regularly. And we're doing that now. We've introduced new KPIs now that they must ring all of their key customers every day now, regardless of a result or an outcome. Just let them know. Absolutely.
And that's a good point.
So we've got 23 properties for lease at the moment.
Okay.
So they're making 23 calls every day. And we've got about 12 on the market for sales. So we're making those calls too.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So let's talk about the business aspect. So for other real estate agents, whether they be principals, whether they be running a business inside a business, whether they be an employee inside a real estate agency at the moment, what would be your advice to them at the moment?
Get on the phones. Call as many people as you can. Absolutely. Ask for business. Okay. Don't just wait for the business. Go out there and get it. Be known within your community. Make sure you've got a good relationship. Get your data right. Record all your data. Make sure it's all recorded. But the most important thing I can say is basically don't hide behind technology, because that's really easy in today's environment and what's happening. So you had a look at the purple brick model. We all saw that came, it's gone, and we want to make sure that, look, real estate's always going to need that personal touch. Okay.
Correct.
And that's what we're there. We're here for relationships. I don't sell homes for a living. I build relationships. I really do. It's relationship building. It's getting to know people. A byproduct of what we do is bricks and mortar, obviously, but it's all about getting to know people and staying in touch. Whether it be, you might get a result out of it, you might not. Okay. It's not about a transaction, but it's about a relationship. But get onto the phone, get people, let them know you're there if you ever need anything. But I would say sales 101, old-fashioned way, phone calls, absolutely.
I love that, mate. Look, you're an inspiration. I think you do a really good job. I think you show that resilience, and I think that's what real estate's really all about. It's not a game for people who aren't prepared to do the activity, because it's all about the numbers. So, mate, I'm super pumped to see. I know you guys are going to get through this. You're going to go on to do much bigger and better things. And guys, for those of you who are watching this, hopefully this gives you some inspiration. You might be a little bit down in the dumps. Don't let this be an excuse, because you'll either find a way or you will find an excuse. And hopefully you take some inspiration from what Sid and the team are doing, and you push on through this and keep moving onwards and upwards. Sid, mate, I really appreciate you making the time, and look forward to seeing you kick some goals, mate. We'll chat to you soon.
Good on you, mate. Thank you. Have a good
Take
night.
care.
See ya.